like how it's up.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you all for coming out today. We got one more. That's it. And so we're just going to go through it and just get started.
On March 24th, 2005, a show aired on NBC that would quickly rise to become television's most watched show. At its height, it would receive approximately 8 million views an episode. It has won 15 awards and has been nominated for dozens of others.
On September 23rd, 2009, another show on ABC would soon rise to fame. At its height, it would receive over 12 million views, which has received over 58 awards and 170 award nominations. Both these shows are still incredibly popular today and are still producing new content.
The main similarity between these two shows, besides their popularity, is the same genre they have, and that is a mockumentary. But these two shows are NBC's The Office and ABC's Modern Family. And this will bring us into our presentation. My name is Dean Phelps. I'm a sophomore at Dixie Heights High School, and throughout my life I have seen tons of movies, many that are great and some that are not so great. So I have decided that my goal is to make a movie someday with at least 3 stars. So joining the Academy was logical.
Hello, my name is Alex Cremeans, and I get my education at Simon Kenton High School in the sophomore class. I joined the Academy because when I was growing up, I was kind of a loner. Like, when the kids were picking teams for sports, I was the referee. So all I had to me was really my imagination and the television. They gave me these fantastic ideas in my head, but I had no way to share them with people. Looking back, they probably stunk, but I like to think they're still good. So when I heard it's Media Arts Academy, I finally saw as a way to get all the things that are in my head finally out there in the world. And even if people don't like them or do not, I would still be glad and happy to know that I got them out there by myself using the best of my ability.
Our goal is to make a short film in the same genre, a mockumentary, in the vein of Modern Family and The Office. It will feature Academy students, and it will be about the academies and their first few days in there.
But before we can begin, it's probably best if we describe what a mockumentary in fact is. A mockumentary comes from the meaning combining the words mock and documentary. These often combine both elements of a documentary and a comedy. Many are fully improvised in acting, and to simulate a documentary, they have a single camera setup and no laugh track whatsoever.
A single camera setup is when only one camera is used to film the entire time, and it is often seen transitioning with like emotion because they do not cut filming when they're going from person to person. It is usually filmed with a hand camera and not normally with a tripod because there is a lot of movement.
Now, the mockumentary has been popularized as of recent, but it actually has been around for quite some time. In 1969, on August 18th, a mockumentary was released in theaters that was called Take the Money and Run. It starred Woody Allen as he played Virgil Starkwell, a very sad excuse for a bank robber. and then in the 1980s, This Is Spinal Tap was released in theaters. It put a more satirical view on the bandmates of the music group called Spinal Tap. Both received very high marks and praise and received over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.com. Some of these have been some of the most successful mockumentaries, and both have been comedies. This is what we plan to do.
Our mockumentary will take place in 2014, 2 years from now. It will focus on 6 main characters, 3 of which are new to the academies and 3 of which are veterans. They are using fictional attitudes and is not how they might normally act in public. Our first character is Eva McGrath of the Media Arts Academy. She is played by the wonderful Meg Graciano. Eva is very eccentric and outgoing. She's quite energetic, but she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. But she still manages to get things done.
This young lad is Vincent Go. He is our representative for the High Performance Production Technologies Academy. He's very focused and very intent on his machines. He loves to tinker. He likes long treads on the beach with his machines as well. He's often plagued by his peer Eva, much to his annoyance.
Next up, we have none other than Miss Sandy Moon, played by Zoe Moon. Sandy Moon is of the Sustainable Energy Academy, and she likes the earth more than people and animals more than the earth. She does not agree with biomedical practices.
Which brings us to our next captive volunteer, Loretta Jamison, but most people call her Lola, much to her annoyance. She's from Biomed. She's very passionate about her work. Some might say obsessive to the point where she may have a few screws loose. They're still cool though. And next we have
we have Nigel Uno of the Informatics Academy. Nigel Uno is not the luckiest member, but he likes to work with computers when he's not just trying to fit in. He spent a lot of time hacking and working with code, and he was played by the magnificent Devin Moffat.
And last but certainly not least, is Craig Johnson. He is played by the average-heighted Nathan Sebastian. Craig is our representative for the Engineering Academy. He's going to be the leader of the group and very kind of the good guy, kind of all-around nice person. People want to go to him for help. Even though he's new to the academy, he still seems very well to fit in, even if he doesn't understand all the things that are going on right now.
So that was a look at some of our main characters. And this is a timeline on how we plan on actually making our short film. This way, with a timeline, we can focus on one or two topics and perfect those, and also avoid cluttering ourselves with too many tasks at once.
January will take place, we'll be getting casting supporting cast and organizing a storyline to help get it just started. While February will be getting equipment and choosing software decisions for editing. In March, we will actually begin shooting the film.
We chose March specifically because the short film that we will be creating will take place in September during a new school year, and March would be the best time that we have for shooting to fit that timeline, because the illusion is ruined when there's snow on the ground, unless you live in Canada.
Which leaves April for editing and final cuts phase. This will mostly take place in editing out raw cuts, editing out bloopers, and just putting final touches to polish everything to make it more smooth and more clean. Which would leave our May to help prepare for our presentation to you guys.
This is a promo we made. So, while everyone was watching that, I know what everyone was thinking. Those camera angles and lighting were perfect. But the shakiness of the camera was because we were using the single camera setup, where we did not use a tripod, and I turned while actually holding the little hand camera that I have. I used a CX HD 190 from Sony, and that was used to film that little scene there. We plan on perfecting our shooting and scripting throughout the next coming months with the help of our lovely teachers.
We also plan to help using our wonderful Mr. Van Hook, hi there. He'll help us organize our storyline and teach us a little more about scripting and how to write a story. And that's really all I think we have for you guys today in May. We will have more for May, so I hope you all come back. I'd personally like to thank Gateway for hosting this and having put up with us for the past couple of days. And I would like to thank our panel for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and see us.
We've been talking for quite a while now, so we'd like to give you a chance. Are there any questions?
What are you going to do about your audio?
Well, the audio was mainly from the speakers being in the back,
Okay.
but it does sound a little better there, and we will try to use mics for actually when they
I
talk.
was going to say, do you guys have microphones?
We have some, but we do not have them set up to shoot the promo.
Oh,
So
Do you
we're
have a
planning.
mic?
I do not think so.
We use a tripod for a mockumentary interview.
We'll be using it for, yeah, for the interviews, yes, and then a couple other times we'll try to use it as well.
Question. I know you guys are kind of, you talked about Modern Family and The Office. Do you see any, since they're so popular, do you see any like award-winning formula since they get so many awards? And do you guys see, do you plan to follow that formula?
Honestly, that was something we were trying to look for when we were researching. We haven't come up with yet, but we will get back to you that in May.
Are you going to be doing a title sequence at all, or anything to kind of start it out?
Yes,
And introduce the characters?
What we plan to do is try and make it as much kind of like a real show with production titles, full screens, just all of the above. Try and make it as realistic as possible.
From an audio standpoint, I'm thinking if you boom, you set them down on a tripod and get a fixed spot, so that way it's consistent. Each character is always filmed in the same spot. That'll help with the viewer to tie it all together. And then maybe go with a more of an omni boom. Is that right? Omni? To where if you're going to shift it around, you're going to have a guy that's going to move
You
it.
have individual microphones.
Or you could clip them too.
Yeah, because if you can't hear, if people can't follow, then you're done. If you can't follow from beginning to end, it's just.
And you're going to need a theme, because audio is just as important as the visual. You have to be able to get engaged without hearing it, and you have to be able to be engaged without seeing it. You can't have one and not the other. They have to go together.
All right. Thank you.
I know we're not quite to January yet, looking at your timeline, but have you thought about any storylines?
It'll be about like the first few days of like the new academy year, and 3 of our characters are new, so it'll be about them trying to fit in, and then the veteran characters already knowing how everything's going to be laid out and helping their new friends try to get comfortable with the whole situation.
Did you say how long it's going to be?
10 to 15 minutes. Or
10 to 15 minutes.
Very good. Great job, team.